Welcome back to another episode of the Gun Collective News, the only gun news show that covers things you actually care about. My name is Jon Patton. Hi, it's nice to have you here. I hope you're having a good week. It's the holidays. Enjoy them. Try not to be a jerk. This week, we're going to play a game with the stuff we cover called Legit or Weird Shit. To play the game, all you have to do is leave a comment about the stuff we cover, telling me whether you think it's, again, legit or weird. Here we go. Sig Sauer has a new gun out, and yes, it is indeed a new version of the P320. It's called the P320 X5 DH3. The DH3 designation is the signature model of their team shooter, Daniel Horner. The things that make this gun unique are pretty simple. It's got SIG's TXG, or tungsten polymer infused grip module with a magwell attached. They've given this a Cerakote finish, lasered off the sides, and then permanently attached some silicon carbide grit, which is exactly the same stuff that makes grip tape work. Beyond that, the slide has some slightly different speed holes in the front.
Oh yeah, speed holes.
And then the optic plate is separate from the rear sight, meaning you don't lose the rear sight if you pull the plate to put an optic on, which is not the case with all SIG pistols. On top of the slide, you have a raised set of sights meant to work with an optic. Otherwise, it's got the standard X5 internals, except for the fact that it comes with two different recoil springs, so you can swap them for stronger or weaker ammo. The gun ships with 3 21 round mags and Cerakoted base pads on all of them. And I think I would be letting some of you down if I didn't make up a price for this. The MSRP on the 320 DH3 is a full breakfast from Ryan's Place in Epping, New Hampshire, which is actually right down the road from them. Now, it's up to you to rate this in the comments, legit or weird. While you're doing that, how about some words from this week's sponsor, Firearms Legal Protection. If you've ever considered using a gun to defend yourself, you also need to consider your own legal defense. Firearms Legal Protection can help. They pay 100% of your criminal and civil attorney's fees. It's not a reimbursement thing where you pay and then they have to pay you back and you have to chase them for money. They just cover it. They also have plans that cover lost wages, scene cleanup, and counseling after the fact. And they even have a 24/7 attorney-answered emergency hotline. They'll go to bat for you in a red flag case as well. Protecting yourself is more than just buying a gun and knowing how to use it. Get complete protection with Firearms Legal Protection. You can also get yourself a big old discount when you use our link or the link in the description to head over to firearmslegal.com/TGC. You could save up to $110 a year. So, you save money and get protected. Win-win. The discount is only available at firearmslegal.com/TGC or by using the link in the video description. Next up this week, we've got something from a company you've never heard of called Senex Arms. This gun is called the MBLR-15, or as I like to call it, the Mubbler. The barrel is from an AR-15 and uses the Senex barrel nut, which allows for quick swapping to other calibers. Inside the action, you have a proprietary bolt carrier, but the bolt itself, gas key, and cam pin are all from an AR platform. Then you have the trigger group, which uses an AR-15 hammer and spring with a proprietary linkage to move the actual trigger portion forward. Now, this gun is supposed to have a modular handguard setup, so you can, in theory, make it an ultra tiny thing with an SBR format. The problem we have is that this gun has no price and no availability because it's still being developed. One of my biggest hang-ups with guns that claim to have swappable barrels is that oftentimes the barrel, besides the 5.56 that they all come with, aren't available. This one kind of solves that issue by using an AR-15 barrel and bolt combo. That means all kinds of stuff will be available. I'm hopeful that it will have a reasonable price when it hopefully comes out later this year. Time will tell. Okay, legit or weird? Sound off down below. Why don't we knock out some gundustry news before we continue the game and get too deep into it? I'll keep it quick. Fiocchi Munizioni, aka the parent company of what we know as Fiocchi, B&P, and some other brands, has sold a 70% stake to a company called Czechoslovak Group. CSG has a portfolio full of aerospace and military-type brands, so it should be interesting to see where things go from here, as the owner of CSG is a 30-year-old dude. In other industry news, the struggle bus returns. DRD Tactical is dead. The company most known for putting guns into small cases closed their doors back in September as the parent company, Otis Technology, decided it was no longer something they were going to invest resources into. They made some really unique guns, DRD. We actually had them at GunCon this past year, and it's disappointing to see that they've closed. However, it's not surprising to me, as the price tags on these guns were often pretty high and kept normal folks from owning them. Raise your hand if you've ever shot a DRD tactical gun. Bet you it's not a lot of you. Not in industry news this week is a new segment I'm calling 30-second reviews. It's basically a super condensed review of a product that I want you guys to know about. Okay, Izzy, put a timer up on screen for 30 seconds. Okay, here we go. I've been using Core Essentials belts for nearly 5 years every day. They are one of the OGs of that ratcheting style belt. They're easy to measure and trim with the markings on the back, and the buckles attach with really little effort. It's great. I use either the dress belt or this new buffalo leather one as my primary. They offer nylon ones, but I prefer the leather. I think it looks nicer. They also offer a ton of different buckles with different styles, so you can kind of match it to your outfit or what you want to look like. I suggest, though, that you avoid wearing the traditional gray man uniform every day. If you want an easily adjustable belt that will hold up over time, this might be your ticket. Hashtag not sponsored. Somebody will say that in the comments. Okay, back to our game. Chiappa has a PDW style gun that actually was announced a while back, but I've never covered it, so here we go. It's called the CBR9, aka the Chiappa Black Rhino 9. It's got a bunch of interesting things going on. We'll start with the mags. Instead of feeding to a central point, the entire mechanism is shifted sideways. Yeah, they say that this makes the gun more reliable. This gun also has a low bore axis, which they say reduces muzzle rise. The bolt release is ambi, and just about all the other controls are swappable from left to right side. When this was originally announced, they were showing it off with a brace that kind of popped out the back, and that is no longer being shown on the gun, although the channels for it are still there. I suspect that this is due to ATF's nonsense. The MSRP, $22.70. Lots of cash for something that might be a niche gun. In the comments, legit or weird. Next this week is something from Reap Weaponry, and it's called the Psy. Long story short, it's an attachment that mounts to your normal AR-15 and converts it into a bullpup configuration. Essentially, this moves the trigger forward via some internal linkage, and biggity bam, you've got a bullpup. It does require a mil-spec lower and what they call a standard size M-lock or key mod handguard. There are a couple concerns for me. First, they don't show one with a standard size buffer tube, which indicates to me that it makes the conversion kind of dumb with that big old buffer tube sticking out the back. The PDW style brace that they're showing on their display gun already costs north of $400, let alone adding $499 pre-order price for this bullpup conversion. So assuming those parts are sort of key to this thing not being hilariously bad, that means the real price is closer to $1,000 when all is said and done. And then you have to ask, what do you gain by doing this? Sure, there is an AR-15 underneath, and that makes parts very, very easy to get, no doubt there, but the going rate on a Tavor X95 is around $1,800. Quick math dictates that the value proposition is getting thin pretty quick. I'm hoping to see more come out on this from Reap Weaponry, as they're a new company, and I very well could be wrong. Now, it's your turn. Legit, weird down in the comments. You know what does have a ton of value, though? Steel targets from Caldwell. Get 20% off of everything that they sell at Caldwell's website using only our link down in the description. You don't need a code, you just click through that link and get 20% off of just about everything they sell. Go check it out. Yep, it's over, but don't worry, you can click on the video up top to watch last week's show, and the one below that is the one that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Check them out and let me know what you think.